Oh, so take a look at this tank. It's a fast little SOB. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Not saying that just because I own one, but I actually think it's actually a pretty good tank. Let's see what we can do with this thing. Stay tuned, because this is going to be fun. Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Censored with Bird Crew Studios, bringing you another review of kind of one of my favorite light tanks, if you will. This is the Tier 8. I'm not going to murder the name on it. It's just referred to as the German M41 with a 90mm gun on it. I'll get better at pronouncing some of the names, but for now on, we're just going to call it the. It's the German version of the bulldog. But let's. You can see it here on the screen. This is not the wargaming version of it. The one I'm going to show you gameplay of later on in this video is the wargaming version. So let's kind of look at some of the stats on this one here. So weaponry, we know it's already got a 90mm gun, 240 base damage, 182 penetration, over 200 with ACPR, 9.48 rate of fire standard, which is pretty good on this. Reload time of 6.33, which you can get that down as well. Dispersion, it's okay at 0.36. Shell velocity on it to me is a little slow, 830 meters per second. Max range 720 meters, and then you got 46 shells. Good compliment on those. Shell costs aren't too bad on that as well. Here's one of the cool things I really like about it. The mobility. This tank can move. I mean, it can outrun a bat chat, and ramp up speed, in other words acceleration, is pretty decent on this tank as well. 500 horsepower. You can go in reverse at 24 kilometers per hour. 21.51 power weight ratio. Terrain resistance, not too bad. Gun elevation is pretty good. 8 degrees of gun depression. Actually, you think about 8 degrees is not that much, but you can actually work some ridge lines with this little tank, and I'll show you in some of the gameplays that we're going to show after this. Is that you'll see one of the guys I'm looking at, one of the replays, is working a ridge with that gun depression. So pretty good. 180 degree gun traverse all the way around. Low capacity weight and so forth. Hull armor. Yes, you are driving essentially a German takeout lunch. 25-25-19 for the hull, 25-25-25 on the turret armor. Although I'll show you some of the turret armor effective armor, especially the gun mantlet. That's pretty good. 1100 health, so pretty decent health on this one. View range, base view range is 400 meters, which is not bad. Radio range 745 meters. Fire chance 20%. It is a fairly expensive tank. Now, let me caveat this as well, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. 6,500 gold. I talk about this tank mainly for two reasons. One, I think it's an awesome tank. Two, the tank, unfortunately, if you look over here at the Wargaming Premium site, which you can see on my screen, it is unfortunately no longer available for purchase. Now, that's not to say it's not going to come back at some point, but unfortunately, you cannot buy this tank any longer. Unless I'm corrected, then I'll go back and do a retraction. But now, when you compare it to some of the loadouts you had, the base price was 6,500 gold, and then you could look at some of the different variations of the loadout, like the Rheinmetall here. You had 3 different versions: a stock, a fully loaded, and then a medium kind of loaded on that as well. So that was pretty interesting across the board. I see Wargaming doing quite a bit more of those in some of the new premium tanks, and that was some of the price points as well that you saw on the 90. Okay, so let's go back to some of the stats. Gun constraints, you can see your elevation all the way around. Now, when we start looking at some of the crew, we start looking at what I typically do is first thing I'm going to run on this. So when you look at some of the stats here for reload, just want you to pay attention to over here. I'm going to put a gun rammer reload time down to 5.7. Very nice. Rate of fire is up to 10.53. Your DPM goes up as well. So now we're going to put I typically on this one will run coated optics. So it bumps up my view range to 440 meters. And then from there, I'll play around to see what my camo value will be. If I run a camo net, it gives me a +10 across the board. Or I can do a gun lane drive to do that. So aim time is, with gun lane drive, 1.57 aim time. If I take that off, 1.73. So not horrible, but it's going to work. So like I said, between there, and I could do vents, which bumps that all the way up there, all the way around. So typically I will run vents on those. Now when we start looking at some of our perks here for the crew, you're always going to have recon, which gives you your view range. Brothers in Arms, it's going to bump all your stats up all the way around. So if you got full Brothers in Arms, you're looking at a fire rate of 11.01 rounds per minute, a reload time of 5.45, and a total DPM of 6242.42. Your dispersion gets better by 1/10 of a millimeter, 1/10 of a meter rather, excuse me. So then we start looking at, let's see, signal boosting. Radio range is 9,300 meters. Excuse me, 932 meters. Situational awareness, again, extends your view range. Snapshot helps you traverse. I don't necessarily use that much. Off-road driving, and then I'll probably run camouflage as well. So that's some of the stuff that I would run on that. But again, it's purely your choice on those. So we can take those all off, and you'll see what it looks like there. Now we look at some of the modules. 90mm, 90-76mm. There's your turret, Tier 8, Tier 10 radio, Tier 7 Continental engine, and Tier 8 tracks. All your kind of standard stuff there. So let's look at the 3D model. So this is going to be your hit boxes here. And if you notice straight out of the gate, the strongest thing really on there, I mean, you've got 25. Your strongest armor on this whole tank by far is your gun mantlet and your gun. I mean, your effective armor, when you're looking at it, depending on how you angle it, I can get an effective armor rating of 77 millimeters. But even on my side, I'm not getting a whole lot. I look at the lower glacis, depending on the range, if I'm setting dead on, I can get 36 effective, but only 31 all the way around. 20 millimeters there. And then if you look at your driver's hatch here, you're looking at 25 millimeters. Commander's cupola, 25 millimeters there. Your weak points there, effective armor. Your back of this tank, 12 millimeters. So do not get shot in the ass on this tank. 21 millimeters there, all the way up top. 13 millimeters on the top. So don't let anything get over the top of you, like shooting down on you. It's going to be bad. All in all, for this tank, though, I think you're going to wind up using more of its speed, maneuverability, and you're going to run this tank around. You're going to scout. I can't see this tank being played as a passive scout. This is an active scout, and I see it being played more like a medium to a degree and doing active flanking. I see that role myself just with this tank, just because of how fast it can go. You can scoot across the battlefield, get into position, do a little bit of upfront passive scouting, but I don't see this tank just setting in wait like I see some scouts doing. I would play this potentially almost kind of like I play my Tier 5 ELC. I'll run around, do a little bit of scouting, watch up front. I'm not going to get on the front lines too much. I'll hang back with this, do a little bit of spotting, and then probably a quarter of the way through the match, watch and see how it shakes out. And then I'm going to do my running gun. I'm going to scoot around, pick off targets of opportunity, and help turn the tide of battle. That's just how I see it. Now, when you look in the garage, this is what the tank looks like. It looks like it's a black or dark green, if you will. But again, I think it's a very cool tank from the Bulldog. I like the Bulldog. But now if you get the Wargaming version, which is the one that you could buy, then you're going to get the Wargaming League across the side. And you'll see that in the video as well when I show you some gameplay. But all in all, like I said, I think this tank is pretty neat. If it comes up available again, I think it's definitely worth a purchase. I don't think it's a bad buy, especially for the price. It's definitely not as expensive as the Scorpion, but all in all, it's a good tank. Hopefully, Wargaming will do some giveaways or stuff like that, or you can figure out how to get one. But now, so we've looked at this. We looked at all the stats. We looked at the modules. We looked at the 3D model, and then we looked in, what it's going to look like in your garage. I'll show you what mine looks like in my garage, and then we'll do some more gameplay. So next up, we'll look in the garage, and then after that, then we'll do some gameplay. Okay, so here is the what I'm going to keep referring to as the German Bulldog in my garage. So this is the Wargaming edition. If you can see on the side of the tank right there, wargamingleague.net. To me, it's a greenish, brownish black on the tank, but I think it's actually a pretty cool looking tank with regards to that. You got your wargamingleague.net, wargaming.net league on the front and on the side there. I'm pretty sure this is an HD model, if I remember correctly, but all in all, like I said, I think it's actually a pretty neat tank. It's fast as hell. You can look at the firepower, survivability, mobility, concealment, spotting, and if you look, you can see down here what I run on my tank. So I've got vertical stabilizer, coated optics, and I'm running vents on mine. So that's how I do mine. So like I said, this is what you're going to see if you're running HD models. I'm pretty sure this is an HD model. If not, it could be the standard. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, and we'll kind of go from there. But again, this is the overall look at the tank. Again, it's not being sold currently in the premium store, unfortunately. So if you got your hands on it, consider yourself one of the lucky ones. Hopefully, Wargaming will bring it back around. Maybe, just maybe, we can ask them to bring it back around again. So, give you one more view around the tank. That cupola up top is fairly pronounced, especially with that machine gun rack. And then we look at the research on it. Again, this is just a little bit detailed about the tank. That's kind of small on the screen, so hopefully you can see it a little bit better. But that's the details on it. Okay, so what we're going to do next, I'm going to show you a game replay that I took a look at, and we'll catch you there. So, okay, welcome back. So this is the gameplay that I was referring to. This is gameplay from a player called Typical Nerd. I want you to watch the maneuverability of this tank, the flanking capabilities, the gun depression you can get on this, how he works a ridgeline. I won't spoil the details as to where it's a win or loss, but I think this is a pretty stellar play for a light tank of this caliber, especially a tier 8 light tank. Like I said, I call it the German Bulldog. You can see he's trying to line up for that AMX 12T. Misses, but we'll deal with it. You look at the tank lineup on the other side, bunch of medium tanks, couple TDs, 3 Arties, and 4 scouts. On our side, 2 heavies, 2 mediums, 3 TDs, 4 artillery. Holy Christ. And 3 scouts. Just 8 that AMX 12T. Thing to keep in mind is, if you notice the ammo loadout on Typical Nerd here, you've got he's got 18 rounds or more of AP. He's got more because I think he's fired a few more. He's got what we got here? 90 millimeters. This is 10 rounds of heat, and then you've got 16 rounds of HEP, high explosive plastic. I've never really used the plastic stuff a whole lot because typically, unless you get lucky with a shot, it's just gonna implode. And some people's mileage may vary. Just own that YAG, YAG Panther. But if you'll notice here in a minute, he's gonna switch to HEP and just watch the amount of damage. Oh, left and to the left and high. Now watch the tank count here in a few minutes. You're going to see this battle turn a little bit. Notice he switched to HEP and just wrecked that Scorpion. Trying to get a shot on the Leopard, and it disappears. Take a blind shot, and we'll see what happens. But overall, like I said, I think the tank is well worth. And by the way, we're on Erlenberg for the map. Standard battle. He's using his distance, using his spotting capabilities in his team's range. So what I'm going to wind up doing, I'm going to kind of sign off from here. I'm going to let you guys watch the rest of this gameplay without commentary. I think we can do commentary, but that's not a big deal. 305 with HEP, not bad. Like I said, keep watching the HEP rounds. We're going to get a shot on this Leopard here. Nope. Hold on, I'll stay in for this. You got to watch this whiz here. 574 on HEP. Does the whiz survive? Yes. What got that whiz? What got that Leopard? ISU 152. Awesome. And the Leopard is complaining a little bit, so a little bit of RNG there for you. So again, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to let you guys watch this through and through. Please feel free to like and comment. Please tell us what you'd like to see more of. I'll be doing more of these types of reviews with added gameplay. Some will be my gameplay, some will be replays. But if you want to see anything different, you want to see anything new, also probably going to be doing some Armored Warfare reviews. Please like, comment. We appreciate the feedback. It helps us grow, helps the channel. And then until then, I will see all of you on the battlefield. Take it easy, everybody. Okay, let's take a look at in-game battle statistics. So we got a mastery, spotter, bruiser, fighter, fire for effect. Also got a Confederate and a high caliber. 138,000 credits, 5,200 damage. Not bad across there. Look at the team score. Of course, top tier. 5,213 damage, 5 kills, 1,586 base experience. As you can see, their highest damaging player on their team was a Lorraine at 1984. Detailed, still made 116,000 credits, so this is a credit-making machine if played correctly. 36 shots fired, direct hits versus penetrations, 23 to 21, so not bad. Penetrations for hits received, had 4 penetrating hits. So all in all, if we look back at this overall of this tank, you can make some money with this tank. You can turn the tide of battle real quick with it. I think it's worth one having. So again, hats off to Typical Nerd and the Game Replay. And guys, take care. See you on the battlefield.